Here we have the new 2022 Chevrolet Traverse. And this one comes in the Premier trim level in silver ice metallic on jet black perforated leather seats. And we bring that powertrain over from last year. It's a 3.6 liter naturally aspirated V6. Made it to a 9-speed automatic. And as we come around to the front end here, it's gonna be the biggest changes are just gonna be the refresh. So here we have that all new front with LED daytime running lights along with LED headlamps. They brought over that same setup from the Blazer, as you'll see in a lot of these features. So we have the 20-inch aluminum wheels here. We get passive keyless entry on all 4 doors. And there are the controls for our power windows, power door locks, power mirrors, as well as power folding mirrors with blind spot monitors. And then memory seating, control for the lift gate, and we can have it 3/4 of the way up or all the way up. Just by twisting that and then pressing the button. And then we have a Bose Sound System as well. And there's our power driver's seat with power lumbar support. Let's check out the second row space next. So to lean the seat back, forward and back, you pull this here and then actually move the seat forward and back itself. You just pull that bar underneath the seat. So that's the seat all the way back. And as you can see, that's my leg room there. Pretty good. I'm 6'3", so you can definitely fit 2 adults, one behind the other, as I have the seat in front of me adjusted for someone of my size as well. And then we have our rear AC automatic climate controls here. So you can fool with that, turn up the fan speed, then cut it off. And then we have a 120 volt 3-prong household plug-in along with 2 USB charging ports. And then we have that dual skyscape sunroof. And there is the third row there, and you can kind of see the leg room comparatively when I have the seat all the way back. And then we have a vent for each row, which is good. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the cargo space. So as we get to the back end here, we have our dual exhaust, and then we also have LED tail lights. And then of course to open the hatch, click that button. And pretty good cargo space back here. And there's our power passenger seat, power lumbar support as well. So it's nice to have that for both the driver and the front passenger. But next we're just gonna take a quick look at the engine bay. And there's that 3.6 liter naturally aspirated V6. Mostly covered there. And I like how easy the hood was to close and it didn't clang like a lot of other vehicles I've done. Let's hop in the driver's seat. So leather wrapped steering wheel here, which we can heat. And it's our also power tilt and telescoping. So you can move it up, down, back and forth. And then over here, we have our radio, so AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth. And you also get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's the navigation screen there. Backup camera, front camera, and then of course you have your curbside view, And if you want to back up a trailer hitch, which this one has the trailering package with it, so that's why you get all of that there. And we still have this nifty thing where you can lift the screen up and then store something back in this little pocket. And there's just a couple views there, and that you can toggle that with your home screen. But down here we have dual zone automatic climate controls for the front. And then here we have our shifter, so reverse, neutral, drive, and then low. You get that all the way down there, and then you can shift using these buttons here. And then a electronic parking brake, press down to engage, or press down to disengage, and then pull up to engage. And then you have your auto stop you can toggle here, your lane departure, which you can toggle, and then of course your drive modes. So this one you just have the snow mode, the tow haul mode, and then just the regular tour mode. And then here we have our center console cubby space with a removable tray. Another quick look at that dual sunroof, which you can one touch slide and tilt, open and shut. And there are the controls for that, along with your universal home remote. Rear camera mirror, which you can toggle here. And there's a view of the back from up here. Glove compartment with your owner's manuals. And then over here we have our cruise controls, which we're going to test that out on the test drive. And then we have the controls for the gauge cluster, Bluetooth controls here, and then you can adjust the gap for that cruise control, as well as the forward collision alert. But I like the views that you have, and you can add and subtract them in the settings. There's push button start. There's your key fob with remote start. And finally, let's go ahead and take a look at what this sticker's for. So this one is $49,670. And the only options that it includes are the skyscape sunroof, the trailering equipment, and then a floor liner package. And then, which is kind of interesting to see on a Premier, you save $700 by not having the heated and cooled seats. But next, I think it's time to go ahead and take this 2022 Traverse out on the road for a quick test drive. So right off the bat, I love how easily the 9-speed shifts. And just like in the Blazers, and of course the previous generation of the Traverse, the 20s, the 21s, all of that, the 9-speed is just really, really crisp. And I will say the transmission shifting manually, it's actually pretty responsive when you use the little shifter on the shifter. Let's give it some throttle here. Pretty good pickup, and what I really like is there's no hesitation that I've seen in previous models. Whereas if I give it a certain amount of throttle, it's not jumping all over the place or getting confused. So I really like that. And let's go ahead and test out this cruise here. So I have the gap set to the smallest gap. I'm gonna go ahead and set it to medium so you can kind of see it's already starting to slow down for the vehicle in front of me. Keeping that safe distance. And a really smooth ride coming down the interstate. Really nice. And there the vehicle would have brought it to a complete stop with the adaptive cruise. I'm going to turn that off. And one thing I'm noticing is just the ride quality is really pretty good for this to be, I guess, a mid-size SUV. It's really, and of course the Traverses, Acadias, and all that are known for this, but they ride really well. They ride like cars, and that's one thing that I like about them. You have the sitting position of an SUV, but just how it handles and overall drivability is like that of a mid-sized car, and I really like that about these. And honestly, if I were to pick a trim level, I would go with the Premier. I would probably, my must-have options would have to be, of course, the skyscape sunroof that comes on this one, but I would also want my heated and cooled seats up front, as well as for the outboard second row. Having kids and all of that, you want to have those extra features, so I definitely recommend to get them with that, especially for when it's really hot or really cold out. And especially for the heat, this black leather, it looks fantastic, but me personally, I would want to have the cooled seats with this kind of seating surface. Really good sound acoustics within the cabin. I don't feel like I'm in a small closet, but I also don't feel like I'm in a giant room either. But this will bring me to an end of my review of the new 2022 Chevrolet Traverse Premier.